Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Chose Reviews where I bring you a review every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today we're going to be talking about Iron Man 3, the kind of final standalone Iron Man movie. I don't think they're going to make another one. Obviously, Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. does reprise his role in the Avengers movies and future Marvel movies, but this is the final movie that is just about Tony Stark and Iron Man. And it's okay. It's a fun movie. I think it was actually a really fun movie. I'll start off by saying I enjoyed it more than Iron Man 2 because for the simple fact that this Iron Man 3 has a vision. It has, they are trying to, it has a focus. It focuses on Tony Stark, pretty much the man, not really Iron Man, but the man himself, Tony Stark, and kind of his anxiety and mental issues in a sense. I guess it's not too much, but extreme anxiety, PTSD from all the stuff that happened in the Avengers movie in New York. There's something on my forehead, or is that just a dent? and that's really what is the personal problem with Tony Stark here. And then the villain of the movie is the Mandarin, which I've done some research, I guess. I did a little bit on the Mandarin in the comics, and I guess there's like a lot of good things and bad things about this movie. If you're a comic book Iron Man fan and you know about the Mandarin, this movie's gonna piss you off because they don't really do the Mandarin too much justice. Like he's a cool villain, but they do something that will. I'm not gonna spoil anything just because I don't do spoilers that much on this channel. But the Mandarin, they do something weird with the villain. This is the most different Marvel movie out of all the ones I've seen. It's nothing like Iron Man 1 or 2. It has flaws, but they're completely different than flaws in other movies. Like Iron Man 2 just had way too much shit happening. This one, like I said, it has a focus. And, but there are some characters that don't get too fleshed out. The villains, there's two villains. There's the Mandarin, and then there's Killian, which is like another sexy kind of, I don't know why I'm saying sexy, but he's like, well, at the beginning of the movie, they made him very ugly, and they kind of pulled an Incredible. This is early in the movie, so I'm not spoiling too much. But they kind of pulled an Incredibles type thing where the guy tries to get Tony Stark's attention in the beginning of the movie, and it says, "I'll meet you on the roof," and Tony Stark never shows up, so this guy becomes evil because of that. And that's literally what happens in the Incredibles with the kid that becomes evil because Mr. Incredible doesn't give him attention. um, that's one evil guy. And then the Mandarin is a terrorist, the head of the terrorist people that goes on TV and pretty much executes people, or he hacks all the TVs and on all station everywhere, and either kills people on camera or threatens or has this really deep kind of voice that is just whoever plays. I forgot. I should know these things, but I forgot who plays the Mandarin. The dude's a great actor. He's very like philosophical kind of on TV, and it hypes all this up. And whether the payoff is good for you or not, I don't know. It was okay for me, but I don't know. It's really weird. I guess looking back at the movie, it's okay. I don't have any attachment to the comic books, but if you do for some reason, or you do, you're not gonna like Mandarin that much. I don't think. Maybe. And then Killian himself, the other villain, which he kind of has these fire powers where he can just heat up pretty much. Kind of reminds me of Mr. Torch or some shit. At one point, the man even breathes fire out of his mouth. Only one point in the entire movie, though. He should. I don't get why they show this man breathe fire out of his mouth, and it's really cool. But they never do it again. They never show it again. It's never touched on again. But he overall is probably my favorite of the three Iron Man villains, besides maybe Obadiah Stane. But Obadiah Stane was just what is happening? It's just like a counterpart to Iron Man, where this guy is just an evil guy. And to that sense, like I said, you already know his backstory. He just doesn't like Tony Stark because he didn't give him attention one time. That could have been fleshed out a little bit more. At the same time that Tony Stark didn't hang out with that guy, it's because he was sleeping with some girl. Of course he was, and that girl is also in the future, and she also has beef with Tony Stark. I didn't like her. I think her name is like Rebecca Hawes or something in real life. I don't know. I didn't like her story at all. I didn't even know who she was half the damn time. Not done good there. Some good things though. This is probably the funniest Iron Man movie of the three. Actually, quite hilarious. There's a kid in it that didn't really annoy me, and he was actually a funny kid. And there's some shit that Tony Stark says to the kid that like, "Did you just say that?" It's like it's very entertaining and funny. Like I said, this movie's fun, but at the same time, if you're expecting a lot of Iron Man, like him in the suit, you're not gonna get that. It's about Tony Stark. It's about him being Iron Man even out of the suit, and his brain. He's put in situations to where, just like in the first movie, where he has to make some technology out of just scraps. You got to see the genius playboy philanthropist. Is that what it is? It's something like that. You know what I'm talking about. But you get to see that in action, and the kid is annoying to Tony Stark, but in a cute, kind of funny way. Um, yeah, I think that's all that's there. There's a lot more suits in this one for whatever reason. It's almost like they wanted to sell us fucking toys of Iron Man suits or costumes, but it touches on a lot of interesting things. I watched some other reviews of Iron Man 3 just to like see if I'm stupid or just to collectively get some other opinions. Um, and no one else complained about the jump cuts in this movie. Not jump cuts, but cuts in general. It's only like one or two scenes that have really started to bother me, but there is one scene that has like 15 cuts in a second, and you could just tell it's because Tony Stark is Tony Stark, and he's kind of like fist fighting, or just he's not in a suit. It's not CGI, so the choreography is just not there, I guess. So they just cut a lot. It did bother me, and I gotta mention it. But other than that, Iron Man, Tony Stark was great in this movie, of course. He has a lot of personal problems that they go back to, and it's not like him being a drunken asshole anymore. It's not that, thank God. Fuck Iron Man 2. But it's about him going through, does he even want to be Iron Man anymore? What is Iron Man too much stress on him? He has really no one. Gwyneth Paltrow is kind of like his Pepper Potts, his girl, is kind of not there for him in this movie. He's kind of naggy and not really, for the love of your life, you should treat him a little better. But she does kind of get her comeback and her shine in this movie. And I think the ending overall is filled with a lot of satisfaction of the entire Iron Man trilogy. Some things that are a little rushed at the end, like things that are big plot points in previous movies just kind of get blown over in this and it's fixed. But it's small things. Yeah, I would say this movie's okay. It's a lot of fun. Better than Iron Man 2, worse than Iron Man 1 for me. But overall, final verdict, it's going to be a 7 out of 10 for me. Yeah, just a solid 7, kind of a little bit above average film. A lot of fun. If you're a big fan of the Mandarin villain, he's cool, but they might go a direction that doesn't really suit you. And I wish they kind of would have went the comic book direction now that I know what that was. But it is what it is. I see why it happened, and there's some cool set pieces in here in action too, but not a lot with Iron Man. A lot of destruction, not a lot with Iron Man though. The ending's good. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. The next movie should be Thor: The Dark World. So yeah, look forward to that. Peace out.